mean, it's going to hold for the time being, but it is extremely close there. Well, still going for the rear end again. And then he's nearly lost the rear end, so it's going to have him vulnerable now to Owen down the straight. And he's got DRS, but he's looked, but he's not going to be close enough, so... Tucks back in, but DRS is active now, of course, so... Plenty of chances now for overtaking. And within a second of the car ahead is the rule. So DeMeo leads. And he's probably going to go, I reckon he's going to get attacked here from Stelvio. As they get the good exit, he's got a decent exit, Stelvio. Good exit there off the last corner. Let's have a look. DRS should be active. Looking to the inside, but he's not really gaining on himself, weirdly enough. Not sure if he's using DRS there or not, but he's not going to make the move. He's going to stick in behind. Meanwhile, back at 4th place, Theo's under the pump here from Stefan. There's also had Andrew Summel disconnect, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but he's disconnected from the game, presumably crashed out or something like that. Stefan looking around the outside of Theo here. It's for 4th. He's going to do it. Around the outside, he's looking. Well, he's gone a bit wide. No, he's not going to do it. He's going to just tuck back in. Gonzalez is just behind him. And meanwhile, in 7th, Sandy Troder's catching his pack. Oh, hello. We've had a spinner. Theo. Oh. Sandy nearly gets right at the back of him there. It was a really awkward spot to spin. But Sandy manages to avoid the crash. That's a shame for him. That battle now, not 3-way, it's only 2-way now between Stefan and Tony. So he's got a good exit here. He should have DRS down this straight. DRS open, he's looking to the inside. Stefan not going to go defensive. And goes down the inside Tony. Stefan looking to switch back, not going to get it, is he? No, but he's right behind him. Look at this. Fantastic stuff. Oh, hello, we've had a... Oh, sorry, that's a traffic. Right. Oh, so there, I thought someone was fun. Traffic. Actually, I'm just looking back. Where has lost a driver, haven't we? Yeah, Stelios is gone. He's off the game as well. So interesting. Did you notice anything there? Or?
I think he may have just lagged out connection, technical issues.
Damn, it's a real shame because it was a really lively battle at the front of the field. But I guess such is the way of things. Not really any battles going on at the moment, except for down at 10th place, 9th, it's Jared Van der Weyden and Sculptor. At the moment, they're battling over 9th. Probably the really only battle at the moment as Jonas goes wide. It's going to leave him vulnerable to Jared, yeah. Going to get back down the inside. Oh, hello. As, what's going on here? 13th. Just going to disconnect. What's going on? Is he? Oh, he's stuck on the curb there. That is, he's out of the last corner. I reckon he's stuck.
He's beached it on the curb. That's going to take a lot of wasting a lot of rubber to get him out of there if he can.
Yeah.
Or his engine's going to get blown sooner or later.
And this is at the last corner too. So that's just off the racing line. So if anyone goes too deep, oh there you go. He's just got back to Garrett's. There we go. I guess these curbs are like that place you there, Bahrain. Now quite big curbs, very easy to get stuck on them. As we've got another one off, Joel Piera. He's just parked it there. He spun it and he's not moving down the 11th, and that looks to me like a smoking engine. So I'll have another retirement.
Well, they have to consider we're in the middle of the desert, so you've got to have some more cooling on these cars.
Yeah. Sure. So we've only got, I think, 9 left now, by the looks of it. Looks very, yeah. Here you go. Well, Joel's still there. I think he's still trying. He's had a DC. No, not DC. I don't know. That's a weird one, but he's still there. See if he can get going again, but Bell's 80 now it is. He's still going. Van der Weyden to get back at Jonas. Jonas not going defensive, so Jared's down the inside. Oh, hello. Oh, and Jared's around. Oh, locks the rears link that is down in the braking area. Jonas now gets that spot. well, really, the attrition rate here is quite high, as you've seen. It's quite unbelievable just how many retirements we're getting early on here. They can be a bit of a handful, these cars, though. So.
Well, yes, but a lot of them have retired because of ending up in accidents and wearing out their engines, burning them up. So, luckily for them, it's only a pre-season test. So, if they did this in a real championship race, they'd be losing points. But here, they have the opportunity to learn from their mistakes.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So that's, of course, it is pre-season, not any points or anything on offer here. So at this point, this is just really just to make sure the mod's working and get some practice, possibly. But there you go. Down to, I believe that's 8. Yeah, 8 guys now out of 16, wasn't it? I believe it was that started. So we are literally half the field gone. No one ain't really battling here either for myself. It's all a bit quiet, really, at this point in the race. Gotten past the initial scuffles, and now we're all just sort of... everyone's just kind of taking their time in their own little space. Laps of 37 in. Long race. So, I mean, look at the amount of DNFs. We've got 3 DNFs that are just plain DNFs, and we've got 2 accidents, and we've got suspension, and we've got an engine, so... kinds of different...
Well, one of the things the league has changed is the weight penalties for aids, because we run aids here, but if you use the traction control ABS, you're going to have an increase of weight on your car. People have been trying to learn to drive without all the aids, so perhaps some people need a little bit more practice in getting there.
That's very true, yeah, that might be it. It is pre-season, of course, this is the time to test it, because you don't have any points to lose. So it's very possible that's what it could be, because we're on a practice. But Sandy Cho's is actually up to 4th here. He's looking all over the back of Tony Mitsalis for 3rd. Got to assume he's got to get it soon, because obviously being Sandy Cho, he's got an insane pace here. And he's all over him. That's going to be pretty much a done deal, I'd say, down the straight. He's probably going to have it done before the corner even arrives. And he doesn't actually have it done before the corner arrives. Actually, Tony's holding on, credit to him. He's going to hold around the outside, but unfortunately not a good spot to be in, and Sandy's going to get it done. Gets it round down the inside. Into 3rd now. Let's have a look. Is there anything going on with the leaders? No, the leaders are both quite spread at this point. They're both just holding stations. Sandy now up to 3rd. And really everyone else is quite spread at the moment. It's quite a spread field now, which is a bit of a shame. Battles, but that's right. Sandy, though, of course, has got a lot of pace, so he'll probably catch up to the leading 2 eventually. I think he's got a nice battle for the lead. But
it's worth noting.
Oh, sorry.
It's worth noting that Insignia Sim Racing are currently in the 1-2 positions, so they've got a pretty strong. Looks like they've got a pretty strong lineup here.
Yeah, it's very true, very true. That's what I was thinking. They're going, Insignia are doing very well here to start the season. 1-2 at the moment, they're just dominating this field. And you got BRN 4th, and I believe that's one of the, I think Theo's with one of the league-owned, or was league-owned anyway, teams. It's, United Autosport Racing. He's in 5th. And then you got Hins Motorsport in 6th. And then... sorry, I'm trying to remember all the names which I like to before the season starts, of course. Oh, hello. Speak of people, a few people are in. By the way, I think pit stops have just started. Owen has just gone through the pit lane. Gonzalez is in. McGreedy's in. Run there, just getting their first pit stops done. So now it leaves Demir in the lead on his own, but he's getting caught by Sandeep. It's now 7.4 seconds. It was about 8. So that's what, 6/10 at about a lap. So that's a good little chunk of time he's taken off him. I think we've got a little bit of battle here with McGreedy and 7th, by the way. McGreedy and Dobsa, Jonas Dobsa. Peter, of course, has just stopped. Jonas hasn't. So they're trying to come back through the field here.
It's worth noting that the league has had hard tyres have been changed, and a lot of the front runners currently either running on them or just switched to them. So it'll be interesting. Today will be their first chance to see how the new hard tyres perform.
Yeah, very true, very true. These changes are something that drivers have to contend with during the season, but it's very true. This is the time we'll see how they handle these hard tyres, being a new tyre and a different tyre than they used to be. As interestingly, no one else actually clearing yet, but plenty of time for that. So at this point, again, it's all a bit spread once more. Everyone's spread apart, although Andy is catching the leader. It's now 6.8. So he's slowly but surely 6.5 now. So he's closing on. Looking to me like pretty much a second a lap he's closing at this point. So only a matter of time now that he gets up to the back of the leader. You kind of expected this being Sandy, but quite impressive with him. We're only, 9 out of 37 laps in. He's already nearly up to the leader, yes. Impressive stuff from him. He's surely the the championship favourite, wouldn't you think?
Well, exactly. He took the championship last year. These cars, these regulations just seem to suit him. So the regulations in cars haven't changed that much over the winter. We had a few minor adjustments, so my money's on him for the championship.
Yeah, very true. I think I'd agree there because he's just shown, obviously reigning champion, he's shown how much pace he's got, not just here, but in other leagues as well. He's got a lot of pace. Very, very, very fast man. So I really wouldn't be surprised if he'll be the favourite really to win, I'd say, this year. 5.7 now, by the way. He's closing even more on the lead up. As it is, all again, very spread here. Everyone's a bit sort of in their own world. Although I reckon McGreedy is catching Brazo in 6th. Well, yeah, he's just gone wide. Oh, it's a bad place to go wide the last corner. Let's hope he doesn't beach it. And he doesn't go around yet. Good stuff. Was catching him and he just went a bit wide there at the final corner, so it's cost him time. Keeps still catching. 5.6 now. But it's slowly catching. So it's actually not galloping up to him as much as I thought he would. He's just slowly catching up. It's all a bit spread now, these 8 remaining drivers. A lot of DNFs this race, but the last DNF was lap 5, so I've gone 5 laps, 8 DNFs. So that's good stuff to see.
Everyone's just settling into the race now. They've got clean air around them, so they've got no pressure on trying to get any speed, defending from positions and whatnot. So we're not going to see as many stakes as we did in the first couple laps.
Indeed. No battle, still just sort of being able to concentrate on the consistency in their own races. Well, there is a battle now for 6th again. McGreedy's gone to the back of Rasso's again. He's gone out inside of the fast right-handed. That was an interesting move, and he gets it done. Rasso's going a bit wide there. And McGreedy's taking advantage. Oh, hello. Oh, and McGreedy's going round. Oh, what a shame. He's gone round there. Doesn't look like he got any damage. He should be able to continue on. So hopefully, it looks like he's continuing. He's testing there with his steering bent. We'll have to see if it's bent. If it is, he might have to pit again. It's a real shame. So there you go. He just went down the inside and then I think he just clipped the ripple strip a bit much. Got a bit too much power, and then round he went. And yeah, he's pitting. So we'll see if this is retirement or if this is just for damage. I'd say to be just for damage. But there you go. just really, I think it was just going a bit too much curb combined with just a bit too much throttle too early, and round the car went. And yeah, it looks like I think he's just going to repair the damage. So it's a real shame for McGrady. Continue on, but he'll be way off the back of the pack now. The Sandy Trade is still closing, by the way. It's 4.6 now at the last check. We'll see what it is at the line. It's suspected to be even closer, knowing Sandy. He's really showing good pace at the moment. And 4.4, yeah, so he's continuing to close. No, no, it's not as, I don't know, were you thinking this would close a little faster? Because to be honest, I would have thought Sandy would have closed up a little bit quicker than this.
Earlier on, he was closing in second lap. I think now he realises he doesn't need to push as much. He's closing in, a couple of tenths each lap. That's all he needs to do until the end of the race, and he'll easily have first position.
Yeah, very true. That's a good point there indeed. He's just pacing himself. It's 4.1 now, so yeah, he's really only closing sort of maybe half a second a lap, slightly over, so it's not as much as it was. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's just pacing himself because he knows that he's got a lot of the race left, and we're not even halfway yet. So a lot of the race left. He knows that, so he's just going to take his time. Don't go too crazy. You don't want to risk a spin or anything like that. So he's going to take his time and just cruise up to the back of Demir. Which is interesting to see. I'm thinking one I'm interested for, because it will be interesting to go around that track, is of course the Nordschleife. That round of the championship, that'll be very interesting. I mean, massively long track, and driving these things around, that'll be very interesting to watch. What's Quentin, what are your races you're looking forward to for this season?
For me, it's the Supercoaster in Melbourne. It's such a classic track, it just flows so well, and considering it's a street circuit, effectively, it shouldn't. We don't really have that many street circuits that flow as well as Melbourne does, but also Nordschleife, well, everyone loves driving the Green Hell, and everyone loves watching cars go around it, so definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, I think Nordschleife, of course, for me. I mean, you can't not say looking forward to that. And yeah, Melbourne will be very interesting. It's a very classic track. I mean, a lot of good battles have happened there. It really is a very flowing circuit, very fun track to drive. And personally, I guess for me, Montreal's always had a soft spot in my heart. That track, I always have liked that track. It's a really nice, fun track. It flows well, very fast. And I don't know, I think Austria as well, the A1 ring. I've always liked that track, so I think that could be an interesting race to watch. But as I look again here, Sandeep was last 3.5 seconds. It was last time, but next sector it is 3.1. So yeah, he's just continuing to slowly close in. So you can think it's only a matter of time at this rate until he gets onto the back of him. As we have a pit stopper, it's Rasso hitting there. That come out pretty much right with McGrady. He's already just a bit of damage, McGrady. And yeah, he's come out just behind him, so Stefan's managed to jump him there and stop. As he now goes to 7th.
Looks like we'll be having a little battle on our hands then.
Yeah, maybe. Hopefully Rasso can catch on the back of Stefan and just have a nice battle at the back end there, hopefully. But the leaders are at 2.8 now for Sandeep, so he's closing. Slowly but surely. It's got to be a matter of time now before he gets onto the back. Probably down to about, I reckon that's about 2.5 at least, surely. Yeah, 2.6, so really galloping onto the back of him. And what is it, 14, so we're getting within sight of the halfway mark here. And Sandeep Treader's just about got his way back up, but all over the back of the field. It's almost got his way up to the front. It's really quite impressive stuff, isn't it, really? There's a 2.6, so probably going to be another few tenths, you'd think, at least in this next sector. It's pretty much where he's been closing in at. A couple of tenths a sector, so slowly but surely. And 2.5, yeah, it's only a tenth. He's actually sort of, yeah, it's evening out a little bit now, it would appear. So that maybe just, maybe Sandy just easing off a bit more, maybe. He realised he's got plenty of time.
Could also be about how he set his car up, because first and third sectors require very good top speed. However, the middle sector needs a lot of downforce for all the high speed corners entering and exiting that sector, so we might not be as good in the second sector. Let's have a look.
Yeah, very true, yeah. It all depends on the car setup, obviously, and it'll be the same with a lot of the tracks. I mean, I'll have sectors which are very fast and don't really require much downforce, and you've got ones which are high downforce, some, high density in corners to the sectors. So you have those sort of splits depending on the track, which will be interesting to watch, I must say. Barring, of course, a very fast track. I mean, there is that middle sector with a lot of sort of flowing corners, got a hairpin as well in that middle sector. So some slower stuff as well. It's 2 seconds now. Although, did he just, I thought he just went wide there, Sandy. Anyway. It looks like Rasso here is just being forced at the back end of the field. After his stop, he's been called by the leaders, so interesting to see how he goes getting out of the way here. It looks like, oh wow, 1.4 now, so he's just closed about 6/10, I reckon, in that sector alone there, Sandy. Quite impressive. But surely it's got to be the next lap or two, he's got to be on the back of him, surely. And then you've got to think it wouldn't be that much.
Into DRS range, but it's just a matter of can he get close.
Yeah, very true, yeah. And then of course KERS as well as DRS, so use that as a defensive mechanism. So we'll see how it goes, but I wouldn't think it would be too hard. I mean, it's Bahrain, it's got that massively long front straight, and with DRS it's not necessarily the hardest place to pass, how much time you have to slipstream pass, so you'd think it wouldn't be too much of a challenge, but we'll see, I guess. It depends. Hopefully it will be a challenge, so it'll be good to watch, but we shall see. As yeah, Brasso's just been caught. And yeah, he lets him go, yep. He's not going to get in the way, which is good stuff. And look at that, yep, so Sandeep now pretty much on the back now as the leader. So the battle could commence pretty much any moment. So what this DRS here, this section here, we'll see if we've got within detection range. I think if you do, it's very marginal, it'll look very close. Yeah, he got in DRS, but he was too far back to actually make the move, so just behind him now. It's pretty much all over him now. You think down the straight, 0.4 of a second. You think down the main straight, he's got to have a good chance here. Have a look. We'll keep an eye on it. Down the final corner. A very good exit. See if he gets it. Yeah, pretty good exit. And look at that. Actually, he might be pitting, I think. Yeah, there you go. So as it happens, goes in the pits. So that was a bit anticlimactic, but anyway. Sandeep Curtin now takes the lead. Of course, he's yet to stop, so I'll have to do that too. We're interested to see if maybe Demir can do the undercut. Use those fresh tyres to sort of get a really nice lap under the belt. That'll be another thing that I think will be interesting to watch will be strategies as well. I mean, a lot of people have very different strategies I like to run.
Exactly, I think Sandeep, I get the impression he's trying to do a one-stop here, which can be difficult, but it's possible if you look after your tyres. But we've seen McCready, I think he's going for a two-stop. He's gone soft to hard now, and we'll wait to see what he puts on in the second stop.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, very differing strategies here. There's also Xalis is in as well, just exiting pit lane now. But yeah, I think I would agree with you. I reckon Schroeder definitely going for a one-stop here. You think he'd pit any moment now because you think he pits soon anyway. Just about the halfway mark. So you think it wouldn't be too far off on the one-stop. And as you said, it is definitely hard. Really asking a lot of the tyres to hold on for a long time, but not unseen or impossible. So he's staying out, of course, so he'll keep going. Only thing, of course, is he's not on fresh tyres, whereas Owen is, so interesting to see what happens here, because Owen will be on fresh tyres, he'll be flying, assumably, back there in second. So we'll keep an eye on that, but I think he might want to come back at him. Maybe do the good old undercut. So actually, I reckon McGreedy is actually catching Jonas Dobsa here. He's now got within a few seconds of him, so that might be a battle all through the next few laps. But again, also spread once more. As actually, hello, Theodoros is in. He's a pit lane now, just exiting. So he's also coming for another stop. He's going to pretty much come out right with Mitsalis by the looks of it. Just about, nearly with him. Oh, he's gone a bit deep there into turn 1, so Mitsalis, though, not close enough to really benefit from it. But those two are a bit close now, so there could be a battle that could kick off soon. As looks like McGreedy's within just about nearly a second here of James Dobser. Oh, Jonas Dobser, sorry. That could be a battle that could kick off in any sort of moment, really. It's color bells now, so we've got a few guys who are a bit close, which is good to see. And Stefan now. He's now pretty much on the back of Dobson now. This is going to have a go soon enough. As, oh, hello. Is that? Yep, Sandeep's in. So Sandeep has just come out pit lane. And as you see, look at that. Yeah, Owen's done the undercut. He's managed to get a nice few seconds on Sandeep there. So there you go. Fantastic stuff to see. Going to cut a work. As McGreedy now is all over the back of Dobson. Down this back straight. Not close enough to challenge though. Oh, hello, he's going to do it again down to the fast left-hander. Oh! And he's spun it off.
We've seen this a few times from Stefan. He always tries to go up the inside and puts the car over a bit too much onto the apex, and then that just loses the traction and the rear end just goes at that point.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, as you saw there, he just clobbered a bit too much to the apex and then round you go, especially with that fast left-hander. I've noticed as well when I was having a crack at these cars. You use too much of it and the car just goes around straight away. You just don't get any warning, just off it goes. You don't really have a chance to catch it or anything like that. So there you go. It's a risky overtaking maneuver into that fast left-hander. I mean, it's definitely a place you can do it if you get a fast enough exit, but it's a bit of a risky spot. You've got to trust the other driver to give you room. There's not a lot there, really. But it looks like Mitsalis now just catching up to Theodoros here. He's nearly within a second. Oh, hello. Oh, Theodoros has gone round. Oh, and yeah, nice work there from Mitsalis to avoid that. Saw it coming and just backed right off. Theodoros thankfully didn't touch the wall or anything, so we had to continue on. But there you go. Potential battle brewing is gone. That's a shame, but Sandeep though, catching on the back of Owen here. He's now 1.5 seconds back. It's got to be less than that now. I'd say it's got to be about a second pretty much. So it looks like this could kick off again. Got a lead. We'll have to just keep an eye on what happens here. Sandeep though, he's not, I don't think he's got DRS there, he's not quite close enough. We'll keep an eye on it. As looks like, it was at 8/10, yeah, so he's going to get, at this point he should get DRS down the main straight. He's going to challenge for the lead. It's interesting to see just how it goes. He's going to try and get a good exit, and it looks like he's got a good enough exit, I'd say. It's pretty even. Darrow should be active. The slipstream Darrow left curve as well. And yeah, he's flying back of him, looking down the inside, and that's down inside and done. Oh, not really defending there. I think he knows just how much more pace Schroeder has at the moment, so just sort of letting him have it, really. Although, mate spoke to saying he's attack here down the right-hander as he's looking. He's looking down the inside, but no, not quite going to break late enough. Schroeder holds for the moment. Very close between these two. I reckon Schroeder there, he's just sort of gapped him slightly, so I reckon Schroeder's got it pretty much done now. So there you go, he takes the lead now, the lead of the race. And I think who was in pit lane, I saw someone pit, I think it was Theodoros there pitting. Down in 5th now after pitting. And also I believe Jonas Dobbs pitted as well, which is why he's dropped down the back there. But one thing I wanted to ask, how do you think these cars are to drive, Britain? Because I mean, I was having a go earlier on, and after Thursday, I find it quite fun to drive.
They are definitely they're good. They're good fun, yes, to drive, but they can be challenging at times, especially on this circuit. There's so many different corners, high, low speed corners and whatnot. You've got to have good traction in the low speed ones. And it's such a fine balance and compromise you've got to find on these cars at each track that it can be difficult for some people. But that's a challenge of these cars.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. They are definitely, can be a handful. Not necessarily hard to spin around or to look up the brakes. I mean, they're pretty sensitive to, just how close to the limit you can get. I mean, I was finding that, especially with the rear end, is a bit loose. You can get it quite loose on corners, but thankfully it's not. I mean, it can be, I think, snap-y at times, just snap-over steer-esque. But I mean, a lot of the time I found it was a lot of it was sort of catchable. You'd sort of feel it go, and you could just sort of let off and hopefully avoid a spin. But yeah, it's definitely not the easiest car in the world to drive. But they're good fun. Obviously very fast as well. And we've got working DRS and curves here, which is very good. Creates some great overtaking opportunities. As I've already said a few times now, it's just spread out at this point. No battles really happening. I don't think anyone really is catching anyone at this point. Really, I mean, maybe Stormson might be catching up to Razzo there, potentially. Instead of aside from that, though, I mean, Schroeder's has been slowly opening up that gap. It's 2.6 at last look, although I think it's going to be a little bit more than that with the lines. Have a look. It is, yep, 3 seconds. So yeah, he's just really slowly gapping now, Sandeep. Sort of in a world of his own, really, now. So yep, there you go from the back, but he's all the way into the lead. So only not long ago, really, past the halfway mark. So pretty impressive stuff. Although to be fair, obviously not everyone is here. I mean, some of the drivers not making it for this pre-season test. I know Sam Howell, of course, did make it. I know he's got a lot of pace, so there's a few people who didn't make it who could potentially put a bit of a challenge to Sandeep. So just because he's dominating here doesn't mean he's going to dominate during the season. Not everyone is here. But it's very interesting to see. One thing I would think would be a good idea. Would you mind, Quinn, maybe just for our viewers who are obviously new to watching the series and this new setup for this year, would you mind just maybe quickly mentioning how the teams work and how the league run teams work here in this main series?
Well, it's very much like how we've previously run the teams before. Basically, driver for the league run teams, a driver approaches, asks the league what seat they can have, and the league will give them a load of options, and then they can choose whatever. And for this year, there's been decided all the teams will be nation-based teams, So we have Team Deutschland, GBR, Racing, etc, etc. So it's quite interesting to see who will be driving for all these teams, because you will probably end up, you usually don't know who your teammate is going to be when you apply for one of these seats. So it's going to be quite interesting during the season if these league run teams the teammates get on well.
Yeah, it's very true. It's a good point. I mean, you got to consider that, but just sort of they'll get the seats, just apply, and they won't really know who, or have a choice really, saying who their teammate is, probably, because you just apply sort of at will. So it'll be interesting to see that if people get along well and if they manage to make a good call. You'd hope so. It'll make it a bit awkward for you during the season if you're not really having a good time with your teammate. But you think it should be all right. I mean, at the end of the day. You're just teammates, really. Yeah, so you don't, even if it is that bad, you can always just, you don't really have to talk, just turn up and race and just get on with it like that. Just don't really interact if it's, that bad. But I think, everyone here is quite good bunch, really good bunch of people here at this league, and everyone's pretty, very friendly, really. So, I don't know any sort of hate between drivers, so I think it should be alright. I can't see any animosity, really, coming out. So, of course, league run teams, obviously, this year, and of course, you've got the custom teams, which are the privately owned teams, which is very good to see, of course. First year of custom teams here at SimLeague. There's 7 we've got. Not all of them are here, of course. I know in Adonis Engineering, not here at this round. I believe they're still got to have their team launch. Yet to have that, because they've been waiting on livery to get done, I believe. So they're another custom private team, that hasn't been here for this. So that you've got to consider them as well. Should be interesting to see.
T4 Motorsport haven't turned up either, so there's a few teams who haven't, who are missing from the grid today. But so the grid, there have been 15 drivers before, but we're definitely going to get more than that come the season start.
Yeah, very true. I mean, we're probably looking at low 20s, I'd say, at least. I mean, maybe even more, which is really good. It's really nice numbers this season, which is good to see. And, I think the private teams possibly helping out there, just bringing in some new talent and some new faces, which is good to see. But I think one thing I'll ask, so far, obviously we haven't seen Adonis Engineering, what their car looks like, but the teams we've seen so far, what do you think is the best livery, if you will? I mean, obviously we're a bit early to be asking it, but so far, what do you think is your favourite livery at this point?
I have to say FSR. They've turned up with an amazing looking car, because team owners, he's done a lot of favours and painting a lot of the teams here, privately owned teams, but he's saving for his own team, and it looks a gorgeous car.
I'll have to agree, it is a very nice car. Looks, just the colours and the patterns, it all looks very nice, really, and it's got that orange in there, some good sort of lighter colours in the orange and the grey, still the black there though. It just looks very nice, really. I will agree, it's a very pretty looking car, which is good to see. But I think, I do like the sort of variety in the grid. I mean, you've got, what is that again? I always forget, but it's one of the United Motorsport Racing, sorry, that's right. They're they're again white, so a bit of a white standout livery in that sense, being white, and everything else sort of more darker colours. You've got T4, they're sort of a darker colour, and then Insignia I like theirs, mostly red, sort of reminds us of the Ferrari sort of thing, with red being the primary colour. BRM I like theirs, again, sort of a bit different really. It's got a sort of, to me anyway, it reminds me of sort of fire and flames with the orange and red, which is good to see. And then of course, Motorsport as well with the green and gold, green and yellow, sorry. go with Aussie sort of ownership of the team just to match that, which again inserts some variety and colour into the group, which I think is good to see. As we actually have a battle down here in 7th place. It's a battle between Razzo and Dobson while we were going on with the liveries. These two have been battling it out. Just looking to the inside of the final corner. It's not really a spot to overtake there. You prefer to wait for the first corner and use DRS. He's now going to the straight. Let's have a look. He's going to have DRS in course. So you'd think he should be able to at least stick it down the inside. But what's he doing now? He's sticking him behind. He's having a look. Goes down the inside. But will he go for the switch back here? Razzo, no, he won't. So there you go. Dobson makes the move. And he's up to 7th. And looks like he's actually got a nice little gap already. So there you go. And the gap now from the lead is 7.3 seconds, by the way. It's from Sandeep to Owen. I think we've got about 10 to go now. Closing stages of this opening pre-season race. And he had a massive attrition rate in his first race, which is probably the main note. But interestingly enough, I mean, the last time was like 5. We haven't had any retirements since then. So, interesting to see the change in attrition from a really high one to now we've had a retirement for most of the race. So, it's interesting to see. It is, what, 8 seconds now? Yep, so continuing just to slowly grow that gap. Now Sandeep Chota. As I was a lap traffic, right? I thought I saw a battle, but it was just one of the leaders passing on lap traffic, so... Oh, hello. Oh, Dobbs has gone round at the fast right-hander. Managed to keep it going, actually. He didn't make contact with the wall. And yeah, he's managing to keep it on the straight and narrow now. He's back on the straight and narrow. Just, I think he may have, again, just used too much curbing once more. I mean, really being a big casualty that corner, hasn't it, really?
Well, yeah, we've seen Griffin go around multiple times early on in the race and leaving now Janos. So it's proved that very fast right-hander is proving quite a difficult corner for some people.
Yeah, very true. It's definitely running a challenge for the drivers, and it is a tough corner. I mean, trying to go around, it's a bit. It's tempting to go full throttle. Like for me, anyway, with the pace I was doing, I was tempted to full throttle up, but I wasn't quite. It's finding full throttle, you're just going to go wide and use the curb too much, then you're pretty much gone. So you're trying to balance right. I'd usually find you just sort of lift off a bit, just lift a bit to go through it. And that generally was able to get you through all right. So just have a look through. Still don't know what's really happening. I mean, everyone a bit spread apart. 10 seconds now. 10.1. Sandeep has 10.7, sorry. He's continuing to just keep pulling away. Oh, nearly just spin there though. He just about went round there out of the finish the first point complex. He managed to hold on to it. So good save from Sandeep there. So it's not hard to save these things when they start going. I'm just looking through, kind of hoping there's a battle, but not really. A bit spread apart. I'll tell you one who's in his own world is in 2nd place, Demir Vuk. He's in pretty much a world of his own. He's got 13 seconds, the guy ahead, then he's got about 15, the guy behind. Actually, no, 25, sorry, to the guy behind, so he's just in a completely lonesome little world there. So it's going along as you do for Insignia. As we've already said, I mean, they're showing very good pace here. I mean, 2nd and 3rd right now. They are really, I think, they're making me sit up and notice here, aren't they, really?
Exactly. When they first launched their announcement lineup, I was a bit surprised because these two, they're very fast in qualifying, but they struggle to finish the race through technical issues or just sheer bad luck. But they're putting in a very impressive performance here. So these things, they're going to be up there fighting for the top places at races this season. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to agree. I mean, Sandeep, of course, starting from the back. I mean, you can't discount that, so it's always something to bear in mind, which probably won't happen during the season, of course. But still, I mean, they're 3rd now, and they've been very consistent all race. They really haven't had any major issues, and they've just been really consistent. They've all spun off and had their own little problems. So, yeah, I agree. It's very impressive and a very good sign sort of to show the other teams and just really say, you know, look at us, we can really shine here, which is interesting to see. And also, I think, of course, with Metzalis, he's doing well. He's showing some good pace and showing some good consistency as well. It's good to see. Of course, not again, as we've already said, not all the teams are here, so we can't really gauge everyone on their pace, but at least we can get an idea with the ones that are here, what's the pace they're doing. And yeah, I think Insignia really are standing their mark here in this pre-season, just sort of really showing what they can do to the rest of the teams. I think we've got about 6 or 7 laps to go now. We're in the closing stages, and it's 11 seconds. Sandeep has 12 seconds. Sorry, now he has over Owen. Been very impressive. And Owen's got 10 seconds over Demir. I reckon Demir's been catching Owen actually. He's only got 10 seconds now. Back to Demir does Owen. So I think he's sort of been slowly being caught maybe by Book. Salas as well, he's been pretty much holding station ahead of Theodoros. He hasn't really been catching. And McGreedy's sort of in his whirl of his own there. There's a big gap back to Jonas, and then Razzo rings out your field of the survivors, as it were, of the 8 of the 15 starters. So big attrition rate here. Yeah, it's very interesting to see. Of course, we have the launch this season of the FS2 category as well, which is a place where you know, rookie drivers, part-time drivers, or reserves can show their stuff and can show their talent and their potential, and can also have a bit of fun in a sort of secondary sister league to the main one, along with obviously FS3. So. And that should be a lot of fun. I mean, I think I know that you were saying you might even do a few races there, perhaps.
Yeah, I probably will be entering to FS2. Hopefully, do a full season, or the majority of the races there, since it doesn't clash with any of my other schedules. So.
Yeah, exactly. You may as well make of it. I think I might. I'll have a look at what the schedule is, see when it's on, and if it doesn't clash, I might even do it myself actually, because these are a lot of fun to drive, and you know, may as well have a crack. And it would be good fun, you know, it's just a little nice fun series to do, you know, don't really put too much pressure, you just drive, have some fun. That's what I'd be doing with it anyway. So yeah, it should be good. It'll be a good place for the rookies to really show their stuff, and for reserves to maybe stamp their mark to be able to enter the main league. The gap's still opening the league, by the way. It's 14.4 now. We'll see if that opens again, and yeah, of course it does. 15. So it just continues to pull away. But as I said, I reckon Demir is catching second place. It's down to, let's have a look. Yeah, it's down to about 9 seconds. So I reckon he's slowly catching up. I mean, I don't know if he's got enough time to catch and pass him, his teammate, but he's catching him, so credit to him. Slowly but surely reeling him in. But yeah, it's good to see a lot of different colours in the grid, which is really nice, really appealing to the eye, which is good to see. I do like that. Got some colour on some of the teams, and you got some darker stuff as well, and some sort of mid-ground colours. So. They're into the last sort of 4, I think it's about 4 to go. So not long to go now in this pre-season race. Been a pretty interesting one. You know, good signal of what pace the guys here can do. It did show for this. See Sandeep, I mean, no surprise really, starting from the rear, he's got to the front, and this is really dominated. Personally, I'm not too surprised. A very, very comfortable driver, so again, probably the favourite really to be in the sort of running for winning this season. Season 8 it is now of the FS1 series. it should be good to see. I do think he's going to definitely be up amongst them, up in the top. Certainly with his pace, at the back, and he's nearly 20 seconds clear. It's pretty impressive.
Exactly, but we have to keep mentioning that there are people here who have, or there aren't drivers here. So, most experienced driver here at SimLeague, not here at the moment, and he was quite a big challenger to Sandeep last year. So, it'll be a matter of can he and his teammate at T4 Motorsport take on Sandeep.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, it's as we mentioned earlier on, and we probably have to keep mentioning at least for the pre-season, is that not everyone's here, so you can't just say that Sandeep's going to dominate because, of course, as you say, Sam's not here, and other drivers who are very experienced and can have a lot of pace here in this league aren't here, of course, for this pre-season. As we've said, Adonis, of course, not here. They haven't had their livery revealed yet. We look forward to seeing it. Actually, it'll be very good, very pretty, match the rest of the field, I'm sure it will. So, look forward to seeing that, but of course you've got Adonis, Taker, of course, not showing for this first pre-season, and a few other drivers not turning up, so... But I think I'm really looking forward to just the grid sizes, because as I've said, you're looking at probably at least high teens, let's say low 20s for the grid, so that should be really good to see. As, again, not really any battles happening at the moment. But I do swear that Theodorus may be just slowly catching Matsalis, maybe. I swear it was about 4 seconds down to about 3, but if it is closing, it's very slow. Slowly, sorry, just on slowly. Good little sort of psychological battle those two have had for this second stint, or this last half, have just both been within, sort of within distance of each other, but not quite close enough to actually battle. But speaking of close for battle, look at the gap now from second to third. It's down to about 6 seconds now from Owen to Demir. So I'm not sure what happened there, if Owen maybe made a mistake or if just Demir's just been finding that much pace. But down to 6 seconds, or 5 seconds, down to 6 seconds now. So maybe that'll be a little battle with his teammates that they could have at the last lap if Owen makes a mistake or something. Got about 2 or 3 laps to go now in the closing stages of this race. Yeah, I think it's about 2 to go, so closing stages now, and Sandeep Chowdhury, he's sort of reinstated what I think we already knew, that he's going to be a very big contender for the title. And starting from the rear, and has gone through the lead, and he's really not looked back, and he's just been dominating here in this first race. And of course, as we said, Insignia showing a really good start really for their season. And second and third, just I will say, I'm very impressed with their consistency. Just, I haven't really had many instances of just been keeping on the straight and narrow, good pace, nice and fast. And also just, almost not crashing out, which is always good. It's good to see. Having really good pace is one thing, but being able to finish is entirely another matter. So it's really nice signs for them. I reckon they'll be something to look out for this season in terms of constructors. And then of course, Matsalis there, he's had a pretty good one again, consistency, and Theodorus as well. It's a little psychological battle. Potentially ones that could be in the points regularly, is that right? I think as well, I think Stefan Emigridi there, he's down 6 at the moment, but I think, again, he's shown he's got good pace, I think, but obviously if he spins this race a few instances, but I think he's got pace. I think he could be up there. Could at least be in the points regularly, fighting for points positions hopefully, which would be good to see, being amongst the guys in the points.
Well, talking about Stefan, he's actually making his return to Sydney. He joined, I believe, back in season 6 and did fairly alright for a rookie season. Picked up a couple of points finishes here and there, but then last season he couldn't commit to the full season. The car just didn't suit him, and now he signed for Hinds Motorsport, committed to a full season, so we'll see true pace and see what has actually improved over the past year.
Yeah, it's a very good point indeed. Obviously, as you said, he's been away for a year and he's come back, and hopefully, we'll see some good pace from him. I know that I think he's showing good pace, but I guess the consistency is the thing, as we've said. I mean, he's had a few spins here at Bahrain during this pre-season race. So I think the thing will be consistency, because if you can get that going, you don't even have to have amazing pace. You can just be consistent. You'll half-time get quite far. As while we're talking, Sandy Schroeder there takes the win here at the pre-season race. I've kind of lost track of the laps there, sorry about that. But Sandy Schroeder takes the win at pretty much an hour. Pretty much almost an hour on the dot. It's about 59 minutes 19 race time. He takes the win, Sandeep, as Owen's going to be second there for Insignia, and Demir's going to be third again for Insignia. So again, as we've already said, very good first signs for Insignia Racing. Looks like in fourth should be Mitsalis. By the looks of it, he's managed to hold off Theodoros here. It's been pretty much 3 seconds the entire last half of the race, so very good, consistent from the two of them, I'll give him that. And looks like Mitsalis should take home fourth. Theodoros there in fifth. Brady is sixth, Stefan there, so good on Stefan to finish the first race back here after his year off, so I think that's a good sign for him, a good sort of plus there. And then seventh is Jonas Dobsar, and then eighth Randy Rasso. Civic, sorry. Gotta be sorry. Would have a spaz there. But he runs out of field. 8 finishes out of 15 starters, so big attrition rate, really. Interesting to note, I thought that most of the field stayed in after the first initial laps. Everyone calmed down and didn't have any retirements after lap 5, so that's interesting to see. But there you are. There you have it here in the pre-season race. Sandy Schroeder is our winner of it. About 18 seconds clear of Owen there, and again, that's from the back of the field, keeping in mind. So once again, as we already knew, and as we've said already, as we've already suspected, Sandy showing his pace and sort of proving why he is the reigning world champion, and just why he'll be very much in the hunt to defend that title. But what were your observations from this pre-season test, Quinn?
I have to completely say I've been surprised by Insignia. Impressive showing here. Can they take it on to next week at the second pre-season testing race and then take it into the season? We'll find out later. Sandeep, I'm not really surprised that he's still up there. And Hinds Motorsport as well. They've secured Stefan for the year, so there's signs that he can bring in a few good points finishes.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, I'd probably agree with your observations there. I mean, yep, Sandeep, as I said, we already kind of suspected that he would be up there, and he's just basically proven again to us that yes, he will be up there and fighting for the title. We kind of guessed that, and he's just confirmed it. And yeah, I'd agree. Insignia once again, second and third, really consistent. Didn't really have any major crashes. Just really good, just a really good race for them. Really showing their mark as a potential candidate for top-end points finishes. So I think in constructors' terms, they'll be very much in there fighting for that. So it's good stuff for them. And then, yeah, as I said, Stefan again coming back and really good pace from him. Again, consistency maybe is a thing that might need to be worked on a little bit with a couple of spins. But, again, he finished, which is always a plus in the end. If you can just finish, with the retirements as we saw, the attrition rate, you can just get points from that. So good signs, I think, for the season. And good stuff to the rest of the finishers as well to finish. It's a long race. It's a very brutal race, obviously. Hard to drive these cars. One little mistake and you're gone. So credit to the drivers that finished. And it was entertaining, I thought. So it had some good moments. It had some good battles throughout the race. So I'm quieting down a bit in the latter half, but it's going to happen obviously with with the amount of tournaments there were and just with the nature of the race. But there you are, I guess. That's really the preseason race here at Bahrain. It's pretty much the end of it. I mean, we'll just any final thoughts from you, Quinton?
No, it's pretty much impressed by Insignia. Sandeep not surprised about his pace, so we'll go on to next week, see how everyone fares at the second pre-season race.
Yes, indeed. That is very true. And it's next week is the next one. You can see the website for details. I think there was an article put up of the whole, basically the season calendar and all that, and when the pre-seasons are and everything. And that'll have to look at the website for the details, especially the season calendar. It's interesting to see the dates and everything. Of course, we've got some very, very famous tracks. Obviously, the Nordschleife, which is a bit different, really. You don't see many other leagues race F1 cars around there, but we do here. So that's on the calendar. You've got as well a classic race, which is the Muller for this season 8, which will be good to see using the 1988 layout, which will be a lot of fun driving these modern cars around that classic track. But yeah, definitely a very interesting season ahead. So that was the end of that one, our first preseason race. This will end there with obviously Sandeep taking the win, as previously mentioned. A very dominating performance from him. But I've been Thomas Hens, alongside me was Quentin Plain for this first preseason race. We bid you guys farewell, and we'll see you next time.